Hi everyone, Deb here again. I'm going to answer a question by Julie Chapman. And she's referring to creating drive. She says, as an example, to teach drive, I'll send around a cone, over a jump, then round another cone. Just whether a mark bucket would have any benefit instead of cones. The way I think about mark training is it's something to add to your dog's toolbox, to add more variety to what you're doing with your dog, which makes things more interesting for me and for my dog, I think. So I do a lot of I use a barrel instead of a cone, but we'll just say cone, jump, cone, and every variation of handling I can do, even kind of, backside pulls, backside pushes, wraps, all of that stuff. But I also use that same setup where I go mark bucket, jump, mark bucket. And the thing I like about that is it creates more variety. So for instance, I can stand back against the first mark bucket and say, go on, and my dog should take that jump in extension and go on to the mark and pause where I can actually praise the go on and then walk over and give my dog a food reward or throw a toy to him, whatever. But then I can also send my dog ahead to wrap or loop, which is, my dog means wrap to the left, with a discrimination ahead, which is that second mark bucket. So I can see, is my dog paying attention to my verbals? So I can work on just verbals, go-ons, and wraps. I can also mix in those backside pushes and pulls. Again, stopping and pausing so that I make sure I'm praising and gives me an opportunity to reward in different ways other than those external rewards. I can go over and give my dog a type of touch that he enjoys, or recall the dog to heel. There is something fantastic about creating pauses in training. And I mentioned this in the mark training course that in healthy dog play, dogs take these short pauses. And I really think there might be something to this in mark training when we start working with agility, that we are playing politely, socially politely with our dogs by taking these breaks that marks create. So how do marks create motivation? The way I like to see it, and I did just recently write a post about it, is mark training creates these simple, hard, simple challenges. So I call them like sandwiches, easy, hard, easy sandwiches. So sending your dog to a mark once the dog is mark trained is like adding 1 + 1. Then you do your more complicated thing, which whatever it may be, a sequence, or it may just be a backside pull from a distance or something like that. So that's like more complex math. So that's asking a dog to maybe multiply 24 by 7. That's really, really hard math. But anyway, so then after the dog does that, to the best of the dog's ability, you end sending to another mark, which is saying, and what is 1 + 1? And the dog can go 2. That's me. I know how to do that. Look at me. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. So it really is a great way to keep ourselves connected to not just adding more and more and more challenges that can create the same kind of anxiety as like what a video game, when I used to play video games, what they used to do to me is like, you succeed at level 1 and you get rewarded by going to level 2, which is harder. You succeed at level 2, you get rewarded by going to level 3. And before long, you're at like level 7 and it's no longer fun. It's like stressful because you don't want to lose everything you've gained. But I think I would be still playing video games if it was more like 1 + 1 = 2. And then 7 times 7 is 49. I can deal with that. Then it goes back to 1 + 1 is 2. So I think I'd even be willing to do more complex math in place of that 7 times 7, as long as I knew I was going to get a 1 + 1 at the end. So that is an added benefit of mark training, and I believe it builds drive and motivation from inside the dog because they are gaining confidence and they're feeling really good about themselves through this training method. Hope that answers your question. Go mark.